Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So today is the disappearance day of our Namacharya, Haridas Thakur. So we'll speak a little bit about him before we read Bhagavatam. So Haridas Thakur, he was named Namacharya. He was given the title Namacharya by Srila Lord Chaitanya himself. Why? Because he was constantly chanting the holy name. Almost 172 rounds, people say. 172 rounds. Or 192, somewhere there.
192. 192
190,
Shilpa. Yeah.
192. Yeah.
300,000 names. Yeah.
300,000 names of Krishna. So
Yeah.
300,000 divided by 16 divided by 108. So 173 rounds about.
Oh.
So he was chanting. That's what they say, about 172 rounds, about 100,000 names of Krishna. And some people may try to imitate Haridas Thakur, say that I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to just chant the holy name. But we can't do that because we are not on that level. We have so many things that push us, the modes push us in this direction and that direction. But what we can do is we can pray to Haridas Thakur that whatever rounds we are chanting, help us to chant them with love. So Haridas Thakur, such a great personality that even the the Muslims at that time started becoming very envious of him. He was born in a Muslim family, but they themselves got envious of him, and they complained to the king that time. And they said that he's supposed to be a Muslim and he's all the time just chanting. What's happening? So the king called him, said that don't chant anymore, and you say this kalma, the prayer of the Mohammedans. So then Haridas Thakur said that God is one. There's only one God. He's just addressed by different names. The different names of God in the Muslim scriptures or in the Puranas. But God is one. Uh, so means he said, I'm not going to give up the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. So then they said, okay, then you have to we are going to punish you if you don't. So Haridas Thakur said, even if you cut my body in pieces, I'm not going to give up this chanting. So this was his determination. They were like, you stop chanting, otherwise we are going to beat you up. And they said, no, I'm not going to give up this chanting. And so then the Qazi said, okay, now you take him to 22 marketplaces, beat him there. Right? Make sure he doesn't, if he's not dead, then we'll understand what he's saying is true. So then they took him to one market, two market. And Haridas Thakur kept on chanting. He kept on chanting. And then he was not saying to God, oh, Krishna, why you're doing this to me? What is this? I'm chanting your holy name all the time. How you can do this to me? No. He just continued to glorify the Lord, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And he was praying to the Lord to not to punish these people, just like Jesus Christ, he said, please forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Haridas Thakur was also praying that don't kill them, because later on when Lord Chaitanya showed his Mahaprakash Leela, at that time Lord Chaitanya showed on his body the marks, the whip marks. He said, I would have killed them, but you said not to kill these people. You said to protect them. So what can I do? Then I had to cover your body. Lord Chaitanya was telling Haridas Thakur that, so that you don't get hurt. Such is the love. Such is the love between the Lord and his devotee. So anyway, here they are taking Haridas Thakur all the marketplaces. Now they are wondering, now he's not yet dead, what we gonna do now? He's gonna um, he's gonna kill us or what? The king himself might kill us, but the people who are beating him could understand that nobody can survive such a beating, you know. This man is not ordinary, he's really a sadhu. How can somebody survive so much beating? So they said the king won't understand. They told Haridas Thakur, you know, we understand you're a sadhu, but king is not gonna understand. And we don't know what to do now. So when Haridas Thakur heard this, he went into samadhi. He went into samadhi, and then they thought, okay, now he's dead maybe. So they brought him to the king. The king also thought he's dead. King said, okay, throw him in the Ganga. So then he was floating in the Ganga, floating, floating, floating. He reached a place, it's called Fulia Ghat. There he just coolly got out of the water, started chanting Hare Krishna again. And then people saw him walking around. And they were like, oh my God, what happened? You know, well, like we thought he was dead. And so the king came to ask forgiveness from him. He said, oh, please forgive me. I thought, I mean, you know, I can clearly understand that you are a great saintly person. Please forgive me for all the offenses I've committed at your lotus feet. Srila Haridas Thakur is a Vaishnav. He didn't take anything personally. He didn't personally take offense. You know, little bit somebody does to us, and we'll be like, oh, how could you do this to me? How like this? How like that? But Haridas Thakur, he didn't hold anything in his heart. So, in fact, wherever he was going, people would get so inspired by him. Really a sadhu. And he was chanting holy name in a tree. In a cave, I'm sorry, not in a tree, in a cave. And so people used to come every day, listen to him, you know, be with him, to take association of a sadhu. But now in this cave, there lived a fearful snake. So the devotees started getting afraid. They were like, "Oh, we are afraid to come. The snake might kill us or something." So they stopped coming. They said to Haridas Thakur, you know, we can't come, we can't stay for very long there because we are very afraid that the snake will bite us. So then Haridas Thakur was thinking next morning, okay, I'll go away to another place. Otherwise, these people might kill the snake. I also don't want to trouble the snake. We can see that he's living in the cave together with the snake. The snake is also not harming him. He's also not harming the snake. So really on the spiritual platform he was. So then the snake uh, here this Haridas Thakur, he told to the snake that, you know, they might kill you. You leave, otherwise I will leave. Otherwise they'll harm you. I don't want you to be harmed. So Haridas Thakur was planning, okay, I will leave tomorrow now. I have told the snake, but we'll see. Maybe I'll only have to leave. But the snake didn't want to trouble Haridas Thakur also. The snake was also saying Haridas Thakur is a pure devotee. All the devotees want to be with him. And then because of the snake, they are not able to be with him. So the snake left. This is contrary to the nature of the snake. You know, it's not in the snake's nature to act like this. But by the influence of Haridas Thakur, the snake also left so that the devotees could have association of Haridas Thakur. The snake gave up his envy. So much power Haridas Thakur had. So then Haridas Thakur also, what happened was some local people got really very, uh, very envious of him, that he's becoming so famous, he's having so many followers. What is happening? We are going to lose our power. So they said, okay, we are going to send a prostitute to him. And then when he's there with the prostitute, then we'll say, okay, see, his real character is not a good person. So the prostitute also said, okay, I will also want to enjoy with him, and I will call you, then you come. So it was decided, okay. So the prostitute came to him in the evening, towards the night. He was chanting the holy name, sitting by the tulsi. So she said, I want to enjoy with you. Haridas Thakur said, okay, okay, yeah, you can enjoy with me. Let me finish chanting my rounds first. Then, okay. So she is, okay, patiently waiting at the doorstep, uh, waiting for him to finish the rounds. Then comes morning, he's still chanting. Then she's like offered obeisances to him, said, I have to leave now. So he said, oh, I'm sorry, I still didn't finish my rounds. What to do? She came this in the evening again. In the evening again, she told him, and he's like, okay, okay, you wait for me till that time. I chant my rounds. And he's chanting the rounds next to Tulsi Maharani. And she's waiting there, hearing him chant. She's also waiting by the Tulsi, hearing him chant. Again comes morning. Again, she's like, okay, now I have to leave. She offers obeisances, kind of. And she's like, okay, I have to leave. Then again, she comes in the night. So he's again saying, oh, but I haven't finished my rounds, I still have so much chanting to do. Can you please wait? So she waits till the morning. But when morning comes, she starts crying. She said, I'm so sorry, She's catches his feet, like falling at his lotus feet. She says, I'm so sorry I came here. Forget the name of a person. There's somebody, he sent me here to blaspheme you, to spoil your name. It was all a plan that I'm supposed to call these people to show that, you're enjoying with women. I'm so sorry I got involved in it. So Haridas Thakur said, yeah, I knew. I knew when you came. But I would have left already, actually, on the first night itself. But I stayed back to deliver you. So he's so compassionate, huh? He's so kind. He could have left, but he still stayed there to deliver this young girl. And she said, I submit myself to you. You please accept me as your disciple. He says, okay, you go home. Whatever wealth you have collected, now you go distribute it. You come here and you just chant here with this tulsi here in front of you, and I'm going to another place now. So such a powerful personality, that the prostitute who came to spoil his name, she herself became a devotee, and people around heard that, oh, this prostitute has become a great saint now. And so they started visiting her. And Haridas Thakur's name became even more famous. He became even more, people more started glorifying him. Already there were some envious people who was thinking, oh, he's getting famous. Now by doing this, he got even more famous. So such are the glories. And one time, Maya Devi herself went to um, entice him. Maya Devi, we are so attracted by Maya Devi. Now she is coming as a woman, uh, wearing very uh, wearing clothes to get his attention, and doing this activity, like, actions to get his attention. But he was just chanting. He didn't get at all enamored by her. He is so much in love with Krishna. He is so much experiencing so much bliss with Krishna that he didn't even glance at Maya Devi. That she said, now you give me initiation. So captivated by Krishna he is. That's why Lord Chaitanya called him Namacharya. And Haridas Thakur, he was staying in Jagannath Puri, right? But he never insisted that I'll go to the mandir. No, he maintained the etiquette because in Jagannath Puri, only if you're born in Hindu family, you can go to the mandir. So he never went. Although such a great devotee, such a great personality, he kept that etiquette. He didn't want to um, kind of break that or break the rules. And nor did Lord Chaitanya tell him to. But Lord Chaitanya, who is Jagannath himself, every day would come and see him, would give him Jagannath Prasad every day. So this is the love that the devotee couldn't go to the Lord, but the Lord is coming every day to see him. You know, Lord Chaitanya is Jagannath himself. So Jagannath himself is coming to Haridas Thakur. Even Rup Sanatan Goswami, they wouldn't go into the temple. Such great devotees. They never insisted, oh, I need to go to the temple. I'm a devotee. How come you can't allow me to come? No, they said, okay, that is the rules. We just follow the rules. But Lord Chaitanya would come to to be with them, to give them the Jagannath Prasad, the glories. And Haridas Thakur Haridas Thakur, his passing away is also very, very wonderfully described by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Leela, in Caitanya Caritamrita, that one day Lord Chaitanya had told his servant Govinda to take the Jagannath Prasad to Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur had become old. He had become old, so he was lying down chanting his rounds, and Govinda told him, uh, take this prasad. He said he just took very little just to honor the prasad, you know. But Govinda could see that he's not well. So he told Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya came to him the next day and said, what happened? So Haridas said, Thakur said, I'm not able to chant my rounds. It's my disease of the mind. My mind is so wicked. I'm not able to chant the rounds. He's not saying that, oh, because I've become old or something. No, he's saying, oh, it's my mind. So we can see his humility also. He's not saying that, oh, I chanted all my life, now I'm old, so now I need to retire. No. And Haridas Thakur could understand that Lord Chaitanya will soon end his pastimes also. So he put this request to Lord Chaitanya that he wants to leave the world before Lord Chaitanya does. So Lord Chaitanya said, tomorrow we will have kirtan in your house. The next day, Lord Chaitanya came with a few devotees. And Haridas was there. And the devotees started doing wonderful kirtan, wonderful kirtan. And Lord Chaitanya put his Haridas Thakur, he held the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya to his chest and was gazing at him with so much love. And the devotees were doing kirtan and gazing at him and holding the lotus feet of the Lord. He gave up his life. Like Bhishma Dev. Bhishma Dev gave up his life at his will. So it was Haridas Thakur. He gave up his life also at his own will, being in the presence of Lord Chaitanya. And the devotees were doing ecstatic kirtan. And after after Haridas Thakur gave up his life, Lord Chaitanya himself picked up the body of Haridas Thakur and was dancing with him. And the kirtan went on for a long time, and Lord Chaitanya was dancing. Then the devotees also told Lord Chaitanya, you're going to get tired. So then they proceeded to the sea, and then over there at the sea, they bathed their body, they prepared his body with all nice Jagannath paraphernalia also, the, the, there was thread coming from silken thread of Lord Jagannath, very all auspicious articles, auspicious items. They made the samadhi over there for Haridas Thakur by the sea itself. And then Lord Chaitanya was personally going and begging the prasad from the shopkeepers there, saying that Haridas Thakur had passed away and to have a feast in his honor. Then Lord Chaitanya was personally begging, and Lord Nityananda told him, it's okay, we are going to arrange it. Don't worry, you go. And then they invited, so many devotees came for the feast. And then Lord Chaitanya wanted to personally then feed all the devotees for the feast. Was personally serving them, but they all said, no, nobody can eat. If you're not going to eat, we won't eat. And Lord Chaitanya was insisting to them, no, you'll eat. And the devotees were insisting, you'll eat. So like that, loving exchange between the Lord and his devotees was going on. And it's Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, very, very beautifully, he describes this pastime. Actually, I thought this was the chapter, but I think it's not. This is another one. So I just spoke a little bit of Lord about Haridas Thakur, and the Lord and his devotees. They have this wonderful pastimes. Yeah, this is the one, and this is the chapter. Actually, I was on the wrong one, and it said that it's very auspicious to hear about the passing of Haridas Thakur. So, did anyone have anything to add?
Hare Krishna. Shilpaji, it is just very simple part that his Ishtadev was Banke Bihari ji.
Oh, Banke
Haridas
Bihari,
Thakur.
is it?
Yeah, yeah. And in the Nidhi one, his temple is there in the Nidhi one. He's there. Haridas Thakur is there in the Nidhi one. There's a small temple, and Haridas Thakur is also there in the Nidhi one.
Okay. Banke Bihari. Okay.
Yeah, Banke Bihari ji. It's his Ishtadev.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Caitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So maybe we'll read a bit from Bhagavatam.
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So Bhagavatam 795. Today we are at 795. Does anyone remember what we read yesterday? Any main point?
Hare Krishna. Everyone is... Okay,
we didn't read yesterday.
Day before yesterday.
Day before.
Yeah, day before. Yeah. Yesterday we read, no? Didn't we?
No.
We heard about...
we heard about Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, thank you. The day before, any main point from there? The last reading?
The very main point was that everybody was really scared of Narasimhadev and his roop, and nobody was going to pacify him. And then Brahmaji told Prahlad Maharaj that please go and pacify him. And even Lakshmi ji was very, very scared. And we were saying that the pure devotee always use his anger, but we does not use his anger. And if it is, then he use everything in the service of Lord only. All his everything is used in the service of the Lord. In our heart, we have all the anarthas, and then we just need to get them out of our heart before Krishna can come in. And so use these all in the service of Krishna. And then Brahmaji told Bhakta Prahlad Maharaj that now can you please go, dear son, can you please go and pacify Lord? Yeah, that was the main part.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So then now it's Prahlad is beginning to speak, right? That's right.
Yeah, and also, yeah,
And you also mentioned about this Narayan Pana.
yeah,
Narayana Parayana.
Yeah, that, fearless, how the devotee is so fearless.
Fearless. Yeah.
Matter in any situation, he's always fearless. And God also appeared to protect him from
Yeah.
in every situation. And he's always fearless.
Fearless. Yes.
Narayan Para. And then also you gave a beautiful example of Parikshit Maharaj. Yeah.
Parikshit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Parikshit.
Narayan Parayana.
Yeah.
Sneha, you were saying something?
yeah. Also, I mean, that point I liked is that the ultimate goal of life for every living entity is to attain the position of being servant of the Lord.
Mm. Yeah.
Not servant, but a
Gopi Bharatur
servant.
Pada Kamalayor Das Dasanu Dasanu Das. Yeah, servant of the
Of
servants, not direct servant. Yeah, Lord Chaitanya also teaches that. Gopi Bharatur Pada Kamalayor Das Dasanu Dasanu Das. To become a servant of the servant of the servant of the maintainer of the gopis. Because someone may say, I want to directly become Krishna's servant, but Krishna, the mood to approach Krishna is to be servant of his servant of his servant of his servant. Yes, thank you so much. So then when you go on to read to text 5. Swapadamule patitam tam arbhakam
Swapadamule patitam tam adbhutam
vilokya deva kripaya pariplutaha
vilokya devam kripya paripata
uthapyatachrisni adadat karambujam
utthapya tasya abadhaya
kala hi vitrastadiyam krita bhayam.
kala
Alahivitrasya diyam.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. When Lord Nishimadev saw the small boy, Prahlad Maharaj, prostrated at the soles of his lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection toward his devotee. Raising Prahlad, the Lord placed his lotus hand upon the boy's head, because his hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees. So here he was so angry, such great personalities are so afraid to come near him. Now, Lord Nishingadev is seeing this small boy Prahlad at his lotus feet, and he's become affection. This mood is changing. From anger, he's coming to affection. The necessities of the material world are four: ahar, nidra, bhaya, and maithuna: eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. In this material world, everyone is in fearful consciousness, sada samudvigna diyam. And the only means to make everyone fearless is Krishna consciousness. When Lord Nishimadev appeared, all the devotees became fearless. The devotee's hope of becoming fearless is to chant the holy name of Lord Nishimadev, yato yato yami tato nishimha. Wherever we go, we must always think of Lord Nishimadev. Thus, there will be no fear for the devotee of the Lord. So the devotee depends on Krishna. The devotee is depending on Lord Nishimadev. That's why he is fearless. We become fearful. We are fearful. Why? Because we want to depend on our own strength. We think I'm strong, I can protect myself, I can protect my family, I can protect my possessions. But deep down, subconsciously, we know we can't. And that becomes cause of our fear. But the devotee, he's dependent on the Lord. Oh, Krishna will take care of me. That's how he's fearless. Abhay Charanaravinda, fearless at the lotus feet of the Lord. Satat Karasparshathuta Kilashubha
सत्तत्करस्पर्शधुता अखिला शुभा
Sapadi Abhivyakta Paratma Darshanaha
सपर्दि
Sapati
अभिव्यक्त पर
Aparamat
आत्मदर्शनः
Krishna.
Tatpada Padmam Hridhi Nirvrito Dadau
तत्पाद पद्मं
Padmam
देवतोदधौ
Tado
Rashyat Tanuklina Hrid Ashru Lochanaha
Krishna Tanuklinat Ashlochana.
By the touch of Lord Nrsimhadev's hand on Prahlad Maharaj's head, Prahlad was completely freed of all material contaminations and desires, as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendently situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body. His heart filled with love, and his eyes with tears. And thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 14:26, Mam chayo vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitya brahma bhuyaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, who does not fall down in any circumstance, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So full, the pure devotee. So Lord Nishingadev, he put his hand, lotus hand on Prahlad's head, and Prahlad is got in ecstatic ecstasy, completely freed. Whatever little bit of material desire or whatever material contamination, if it was present, was completely gone. If anything was there, was completely cleaned. Like we have cleansers. We try to buy a very powerful cleanser. We say, oh, this is good for cleaning. Gonna clean away all the bacteria, all the germs. So the best cleanser, chanting the holy name. And here, of course, the Lord is personally putting his hand on the head of Prahlad. So he's become ecstatic, and his heart now is filled with love. And because of this love is overflowing. His heart is so filled with love that this love is overflowing through his eyes in the form of tears. It's not that he's suffering and that's why the tears are coming, but it is a symptom of the love. The heart is so full of love that this love is overflowing through his eyes. Does anyone remember any other devotee that the Lord touched his head and then the devotee? Yes, Dhruv Maharaj. That's right. Thank you.
And I remember a very beautiful point in Dhruv Maharaj when we read this. We mentioned that there are two types of tears. Like the tears that come when you're happy and joyful, they are very warm. But the tears that come out when you are crying in, some separation or pain, they are cold. That was written in, we read during Dhruv Maharaj's explanation. When
We'll
this
have to
part was
see which one is cool, which is hot. Is it that when you're angry, then it's
when
cool?
you are, when you, yeah. We're not angry when you are sad or in pain, and when you cry, then those tears that come out, those are cold tears. But when
Oh, is
you
it?
are crying in affection, then your tears are warm tears, like little warm. You can feel. We can try.
Okay. Thank
It
you.
was written here, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. So then elsewhere in Bhagavad Gita 9 to 32, the Lord says, Mom, he partha vyapashritya yepi syupapayonaya striyo vaishyas tatha shudras tepi yanti param gatim. O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be of lower birth, women, Vaishyas, merchants, as well as Shudras, workers, can approach the supreme destination. So anyone, everyone can come to Krishna. Not that Krishna doesn't say, oh, only this people, this particular community, this nationality, this gender, or this society, or this planet even, or this species. No, anyone, everyone. Because we are all children of Krishna after all. On the strength of these verses from Bhagavad Gita, it is evident that although Prahlad Maharaj was born in a demoniac family, and although virtually demoniac blood flowed within his body, he was cleansed of all material bodily contamination because of his exalted position as a devotee. In other words, such impediments on the path, on the spiritual path, could not stop him from progressing, for he was directly in touch with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Those who are physically and mentally contaminated by atheism cannot be situated on the transcendental platform. But as soon as one is freed from material contamination, he is immediately fit to be situated in devotional service. So the when some Lord touches somebody, he'll completely forget that about the body and everything. He'll immediately remember his natural position, his natural loving relationship with God. And that's what happened to Prahlad Maharaj. So the pure devotee, he's liberated. He's understood his relationship with God and he engages in that relationship. So that's how he's, he's liberated. And now Astaushidharim ekagra
Astaushidharim ekagra
manasa susamahita
Manasa
Manasasamahinta
prema gadgadaya vacha
Prema
Prema
Gadgadaya
Gadgadaya Vacha
tanyasta hridayekshanaha.
Tanyasta Hridaye Chanaha.
Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Nrsimhadev with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love with a faltering voice. So we can see, now he's fixed his mind and his sight. So his mind and sight. So he's looking at the Lord and his mind is not going anywhere else. We may be looking at someone or something and there might be 10,000 other thoughts in our mind. But he's completely attentive that the Lord is here in front of him. Full attention in complete trance. And then he's offering prayers with love. And because of this love, because of this emotion, his voice is faltering. Sukadev Goswami is a very beautiful poet. So the word susamahita means very attentive or fully fixed. The ability to fix the mind in this way is a result of yoga siddhi, mystic perfection. As it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 12:13:1, dhyana vastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yoginaha. One attains yogic perfection when he is freed from all material diversions and his mind is fixed upon the lotus feet of the Lord. This is called samadhi or trance. So as we heard Lord Kapila Dev also saying, what is samadhi? Samadhi doesn't mean fixing mind on something void or something imaginary. No. Samadhi, fixing the mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is samadhi. Prahlad Maharaj attained that stage beyond the senses. Because he was engaged in service, he felt transcendently situated, and naturally his mind and attention became saturated in transcendence. In that condition, he began to offer his prayers as follows. So he's completely in samadhi. He's in love with Krishna now. He's in love with Lord Nrsingadev. And he's beginning to offer prayers. Comments? Any comments or anything to add? If no, then
Wow.
we'll stop here then for today.
Yeah.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. And we pray at the lotus feet of Srila Haridasa Thakur, praying at the dust of the lotus feet of Srila Haridasa Thakur to give us mercy, so that we can also chant the holy name with love. Give us a fraction of love from his. He's chanting the holy name with so much love. If we can even chant the holy name with a fraction of the love that he's chanting with, we will become so fortunate. So thank you all for joining.